on the anterior of the animal, and they have cilia. They beat. When they beat, the cilia that is moving has two functions. One of them for propelling the animal for locomotion, and the other one is for feeding the animal. So when they move and they beat like this, they bring food, the water comes into, food comes into their mouth, which is between the two corona. Some sessile and some colonial. That's where Glenn got most of it. Some. Glenn does not see some sometimes. And then some are epizoic. Epizoic, it means they live on the surface of another animal. That's what pretty much epizoic means. Epitop, epizoic, on surface of another animal. And then, of course, they undergo encystment. Body has head, trunk, and tail or foot. Rotifers move like leeches by corona or both. Internal structures, you have cuticle. Cuticle is not an internal structure, it's external structures. But they have syncytial epidermis, just like nematodes. Okay, subepidermal muscles, of course, locomotion, location of pseudocele. Mastics or pharynx have muscles, and salivary and gastric glands, protonephridia tubules, cloaca. Yes, you know what cloaca means. None of this is that significant. None of that is important, but you do know the definition of cloaca. That's where reproductive and waste material comes out. Bilobed brain, dorsal to mastics. None of that is important. They're dioecious animals. One testes, and what else? Male lack cloaca, so female like chicken. Chicken has female. Rooster is a male, right? Chicken is female, so chicken has cloaca. And same as these guys. The male lack cloaca, but female has. Copulation, male penis can penetrate any part of the female and inject sperm. Thank God we human are not like that. We are 7 billion now. If that was the case, that would be the population of the earth would be trillions. Nuclear consistency, well, what does that mean? If I give you a quiz question, what does nuclear consistency mean? Utility. That's what utility means. We already discussed that. Is that right? We already discussed that. And then, for example, I'm giving you some examples. Do not memorize those numbers. Do not worry about them. I'm just giving you examples. 183 nucleus in the brain, 39 nucleus in stomach, nuclei, I should say. 172 nuclei in corona, etc., etc., etc. Here is 2 corona right here. They are ciliated, and here's a mouth. So when they beat, can you guys see my laser point, the red laser? Okay, so when the corona is beating, they move the animal, also food comes into the mouth. That's what the function of corona is. Okay, here is a Philodino corona, and then of course, do not worry about the rest of the structures in the body. Just make sure this is body right here. All of this is called body, and this is called tail. All of this from here to here is called tail, from here to here is called body, and of course the corona is in the head region. Here are different type of rotifers in our pond. Here is, they call this haplodiploidy. I put it by mistake in the pen one, but this is haplodiploidy. Let's go over it quickly. What happens in the nature, you will find female rotifers easily, but sometimes finding the male rotifer is tough. Some species, they have not discovered them yet. You guys go get your PhD and find the male of those rotifers they have not found yet. Let's go over and see how that is. Why? Okay, are you ready? So what happens normally, female has 2 sets of chromosomes. 2N, you already know that from Bio 1, okay? And then the female When they want to make egg, they do not undergo meiosis, they undergo mitosis. They make, the egg has full set of chromosomes. And then guess what? That egg becomes what? Female. Female lay eggs. Parthenogenesis, you remember that? Has full set of chromosomes, become female. Female lay eggs, becomes female. So this cycle right here, forget about this one. Okay, this cycle is called the diploid parthenogenesis cycle. Female lay egg, egg becomes female, female lay egg, eggs become female, female lay egg, eggs become female. And there is, that's what is called an amictic female. A in front of a word, it means without, right? Amictic, it means without meiosis. Not mitosis, without meiosis. So these animals do not undergo meiosis. Now, what happens that the female mixes stimulus? It means the condition of the environment is not ideal. The condition of the environment becomes too cold, or water is lacking, food is lacking in the lake. These are freshwater animals, right? So what will happen? A female release egg, that egg becomes mictic female. And mictic female, it means they undergo meiosis. When they release egg, the egg is half of the number of the chromosomes, 1N, haploid. Some of those eggs become male, and some of the eggs stay in the environment. That's why I say some of the species, the male have not been discovered. The eggs become male, male release sperm, sperm travels and fertilizes the egg fertilization, external fertilization, the egg now is dormant, it can withstand the harsh environment. Lack of food, encystment, you remember? Encystment and excisment happens. This is encystment, and when the condition of the environment comes back to normal, when rains come back, when the food comes back to the pond, then this from dormant stage goes to, becomes what? Guess what this becomes? Huh? This becomes what? It becomes a female. That egg becomes a female. I hope that's what they call it, haplodiploidy. Haplodiploidy. I hope it makes sense.
Is that?
And I asked this.
Rotifers?
Most of them are like this, not all of them.
Okay.
Most of them are like this. If they, the ones that like protista, remember protista, not all of them undergo encystment and excisment. Some of them. Same as these guys. Okay? And that's why some of the male have not been discovered yet. That's right. I want to make it sense. Last phylum, as far as as far as pseudocoielomate goes. Phylum, Acanthocephala, spiny-headed worms. Proboscis contains spines. On the specimens we have there, make sure you see it. Do not mix them up with nematodes, roundworm. You should be able to tell Acanthocephala by looking at them from nematode.
Can you show us an example?
Okay?
Can you grab and show us?
Yes. Proboscis contains spines. Female is usually larger. Little inflammation. They really do not cause much harm. Okay, they're usually flat, and then the one species we have in the lab, and I do have, again, this line should not be here, the one that we have in the lab, and the one that I have 2x2 slides of, the eggs, it's called Macrocantharynchus hirunensis. Macrocantharynchus hirunensis, that's the name of the species. In small intestine of pigs and human, again, larva develops in arthropods and no digestive tract. If they do not have digestive tract, how do they obtain the food? While they're in a large intestine. Well, through the tegument. What other animal you studied in here that they absorb food and nutrient through their tegument? The tapeworms, cestodes. Right? And of course they have protonephridia. Here there are some of them, some of the species. That's what a proboscis is. And this is the body of the animal. Some of them can retract their proboscis inside. And then of course, this is a female, larger and male. And then here they are, this is in the ducks, they're showing you the ducks. And here is a case of, we do have the real eggs of this one. Okay, Macrocantharidus. And here is a proboscis. You can see that right here sticking out. And then of course, they're saying that arthropods is the intermediate host. Here is a little diagram that I'd like to share with you guys. I'm not sure if this is all of the numbers are true or not, but prevalence of infestation. What is wrong with that one? Oh, we discussed this. Elizabeth, what is wrong with that one? Already talked about. Anybody? All of these parasites cause infection. They do not cause infestation. So that's what's wrong with that, right there. Infestation is when a parasite or any organism is outside of the body, like tick. Tick cause flea. Tick, they cause infestation. It's inside of the body, it's infection. So that's what's wrong with that one first. We selected intestinal helminth. Yes, these are all intestinal helminth worms. That was in your exam. What is helminth? In the worldwide happens population. Now, Trichinella, 1%, yeah, possibly, it's not that common. 1% that they report. They go to the doctor, say, the doctor look at it and say, oh, you have Trichinella, get on this medication, blah, 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 blah. Am I making some sense? Flukes, all of them, 1.5%. No, I disagree. I think it's much, much more than that, even the reported ones. Okay, tapeworms, 3%, could be, but how many people have tapeworms and they go to a doctor and the doctor can really diagnose them? Remember, tapeworms do not harm human. The normal ones, Tinea pisiformis, Tinea saginata, they do not harm human. But the ones that harm human, we are not the normal host for. Remember that? We talk about those. So I think the number is much higher than that. Schistosoma, he didn't put schistosoma in here. Yeah, about right. And this, okay, I agree with that one. But that one is off. Enterobius, pinworm, 10% reported. Yeah, possibly. But I know the number on planet Earth is way, way up here. Even United States, European countries have pinworm. On one report, one study, pinworm eggs have been found in the screens of movie theaters. How did they get there? That's a good question. Somebody pooped in a movie theater? Anyway. Hookworms, yeah, very common, and a lot of people report that 21% of population of Earth, they have hookworms. They go to doctors, say, I'm lethargic, I'm tired, I'm sleepy, I'm sluggish all the time. Maybe you have hookworm. You're anemic. The person is anemic with hookworm. Ascaris, true, even more. I would say it's way more than 30%. A lot of people have it, and they go to a doctor. The doctor is looking possibly for another worm or something else, and they see the eggs in the feces. Ah, you have Ascaris too. Let's put him on anti-helminth drugs. Any question? Again, someday you're going to become a doctor. And when you go to medical school in the United States, they will not go over these with you too much. Maybe 1 hour. They mention all of the worms and protista. Here you're spending a good chunk of semester on protista and the worms and all other animals that, Of course, in the United States, you do not have them, but United States medical schools should get back to the norm and teach these in medical schools. Why? Because people from all over the world are coming here, and people from the United States are going to the rest of the world. That's why United States medical schools, pharmacy schools, dental schools should go over these. Not forget them, not to leave them to Amir assadi-rad. I have a big, heavy load on my shoulder. So anyway, learn them, know them, they exist. So like the House, is that the name of the show on TV? It's called House. They're unusual cases. You might see them someday in your life. Learn them, know them. We're gonna leave this for next time, which is Tuesday. We gotta go, Glenn, we gotta go over the field trip. We gotta go